Hello, it's Mr. Gibbs here. Welcome to another video. This one's all about text functions, and we're going to look at some very basic text functions today in order to manipulate text inside cells. And to begin with, I'd like you to pause the video and start a new sheet with the name, two names, and just type in the data that you see here. We have the name, first name, surname, then my name and the name of my friend and colleague, Mr. John Nakielski, in cell A3. Okay, once you've got the same data as I have, what we're going to do to begin with on our two names sheet is just split these names up. Okay, now before we start, it's important to remember that every bit of text in a cell usually goes to the left hand side of the cell. So I make that wider there, you can see my name's jumped over there to the left. Also, the number of characters is always counted from the left as well. So JONATHAN space GIBBS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the space, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 characters in my name. So you think about your own name and how many characters you have. I'm going to imagine that your name is Joe Blogs. So you type your name in down below here, and I'm going to pretend you're called Joe Blogs. Okay, and what we're going to do is take my first name and put it in cell B2. Now to do that, I use the left function because my name is on the left. Now this left function, if you can just about see this, I'm using an older version of Excel here. Left and the text and the number of characters. So the text is in A2. How many characters do I want? Well, in its simplest form, JONATHAN is 8 characters. There we go. And that gets me the name Jonathan. Okay. Of course, if I fill that down, John Nakielski and Joe Blogs, they don't have 8 characters. Okay, so that's not going to work for these two guys. So let's delete that. And let's make this constant number. Let's make it dynamic. Let's make it change so that it works for the other two guys as well. Well, so instead of putting a whole number in there, instead of a constant that never changes, let us enter a formula. Well, let's search for the space inside A2. Okay, that gives us a number. Where's the space in A2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is where the space is. So I need a -1 so that I don't get Jonathan space. I get Jonathan. And there we go. Control Enter. There it is again. And if I fill that down, I get the first name for everybody, which is great. It works for everybody. Now this doesn't necessarily have to be names. It could be anything where we have something, space, something else. I want to split it up. Okay. Let's have a look at the surname. I want everything after the surname. But before we do everything after the space. Now, before we do everything after the space, we need to learn a function here called len. And len A2 tells me the length of the characters, the number of characters in the cell. There we go. So 14 in there, 14 in here, and 10 in here. What can I do with len? Well, if I find the position of my space, which we know in my name because we just did it, it's 9. And the length was 14. What's 14 minus 9? It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the length minus the position of the space gives me 5. So let's do equals right. The text is A2. And I want the length of A2 minus the position of the space in A2. So this part here will give me 5. Okay, of course I could just type in the number 5, but that's not going to work if I fill it down, because these guys don't have 5-letter surnames, do they? No, 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 no. So what I need to do is to change it back to len A2 and make it dynamic minus the position of the space, which gives me a number. It calculates a number for me. Okay, and I can fill that down, and surprise, surprise, it works for everybody. Now then, let's put them back together. Imagine I didn't have this. I'll just have these two columns separate. How do I join them together? Well, let's put in a new column called joined name. Let's change joined to the word concatenated name. Why have I used such a big long word there? Well, concatenate is the correct term, okay? And in order to join names together, I can concatenate this one with a space. Don't forget the space in the middle, and then this one. Okay, I could keep going and add in other things to it, okay, but to concatenate means to join text together. In the newer Excel, you will see the word is shortened to concat, okay, but classic Excel, the function name is to concatenate, and there you'll see that my name is concatenated. I've joined it back together, and let's fill it down so I get those names back together again. Okay, so what do we have here? We have, in its simplest form, we've done a left, and we've done a right, and we've done a concatenate. Those are the three functions we've used on this sheet. Okay. Oh, and we've also used, let us not forget, the two other functions that we've used so far, and that is the len and search. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 text functions. I'll give you a sixth one for free. The word find is the same as search. The only difference is that this allows you to search for lowercase and uppercase characters, so it is case sensitive. Now if you just use spaces, of course search is fine. If you want to search for or find lower uppercase letters and differentiate those from your uppercase or lower, other uppercase or lowercase letters in the same word, you have to use find. Okay, so find and search, pretty much the same thing. Right, 2 names, 1 space. There's always a relationship between the number of names and the number of spaces that you have. Think about your own name. How many spaces do you have and how many names do you have? Well, you always have one more name than you have spaces. Let's move on to the next sheet. 3 names. If you don't have this, create a new sheet and name it 3 names like I've done down here.